Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are all doing well. In today's video I wanted to briefly mention towns or places in the Comunidad de Madrid outside of Madrid city where you can visit for the day or just on the weekend basically. The Comunidad de Madrid has lots of beautiful towns and scenery. I know that the city is an obvious attraction point, but there's more to the Comunidad de Madrid than the city. Before I get into the video, I just want to state that this isn't a video with each location in detail. It's more of a introduction to places, a brief introduction to places if you've never heard of them but are wanting to go away perhaps on the weekends in Madrid but not go too far afield. So I'd really recommend doing your own research into these places after having watched this video. Okay, so the first town that I would like to mention is called Alcala de Henares, and it is quite a charming town located about an hour outside of Madrid. And to get there, when I went there, I took the Cercedilla line from the Atocha station, and I think you can take the C2 and C7 trains to get there. I would double check that as it was a while since I last went. But Alcala de Henares is a small town, but it's famous for the Universidad de Alcalá, so that it's a university town essentially, and it is also where Miguel de Cervantes, the Spanish writer, was born. You can also go and visit his house. It's open to the public, and other than that it just boasts an array of nice cafes, restaurants and shops really. The second place that I would like to mention is the town of Aranjuez. In the south of the Comunidad de Madrid. You can get there by taking the Cercanías line from Atocha again. I can't remember the number or the name of the train, but I'll put it on the screen. And you can also get there by taking a bus from Legazpi bus station. Aranjuez has a different feel to Alcalá, as it is laid out in like a grid structure, but it is most famous for its royal palace and royal palace gardens. All in all, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and I think, if I remember correctly, the palace and the gardens sit between the train station and the town, so it's hard to miss the castle if you're coming by train. So the third town that I'm going to recommend is the town of Manzanares El Real, which is in the north of the Comunidad de Madrid, and it essentially is famous for its medieval castle, which overlooks the town slightly, and it has great, really picturesque views of the countryside, and there's even, I think you can see a lake in the distance. The good thing about the castle is that if you're an auxiliar de conversación or an English language assistant, you can show your carta de nombramiento or just nombramiento, and you can gain free entry, or at least that's how it worked when I was there. I don't know if that's still the case, but you can try. The fifth town that I'm going to recommend is Toledo, and Toledo is in, I want to say it's in the middle of the Comunidad de Madrid, and you can get there by taking a bus from Plaza Elliptica bus station, and it is a very historic town steeped in history. Just in order to actually get to the town from the bus stop, you have to mount a hill, just FYI, and it is essentially a walled town, but the Christian, Jewish and Muslim areas are particularly beautiful, and when I was there I really liked the mosaics. Next is Segovia, which is famous for its aqueduct. I think just before you enter the town, and it also has a castle on the other side, which is really beautiful, and you can go in and explore. I think it also, well, I heard that it also inspired the Disney castle. I don't know whether it inspired the logo or it was just inspired the castle of one of the Disney films. But I also really liked Segovia, just for its incredible views, the different coloured buildings, and yeah, I really think it is worth a trip there. The fifth place that I really enjoyed visiting is Cercedilla in the north of the Comunidad, and I think it is the last stop on one of these Cercanías lines, or it's towards the last stops. It's not too far from Galapagar either. There isn't a lot to do there, but it is amazing for hiking and the views are beautiful. I will say though, because it's in nature, during winter it gets particularly cold there, so I would really recommend wrapping up warm and having layers, like leggings, if you're wanting to hike there in winter. Finally guys, the last place is, actually, what is the last place? This actually just escapes me. It's the town of Guadalajara, which is actually in Castilla-La Mancha, but it is at the end of the Cercanías lines of C2 and C7, I think. Don't hold me to that, I would double check. But it still follows, well, when I was there, it still followed the Madrid price ranges in terms of, it was still covered by the Abono Joven. And again, this is just quite a pleasant town to walk around, to explore. It's only about, I think, maybe an hour and 15 minutes approximately from Madrid, so not too far away. Everything guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to this video. I hope that this video has given you some food for thought of other places that you can go in the Comunidad de Madrid. I only lived in Madrid for 9 months, so I'm sure that there are some other places worth visiting that I just didn't manage to get to, or that I never even heard about. So I also encourage you to also do your own research, not just into the places that I've been to, but also other areas and gems, so to speak, in the Comunidad de Madrid. Hi everyone, this is Rod from the future. I actually forgot to include a clip in this video, so I'll just attach it now. Sorry about that. Okay, so the sixth place that I'm going to recommend is the town of El Escorial, which is famous for its huge monastery. The monastery also has gardens that are well maintained. I'd really recommend that you go and visit El Escorial, as it has a lot of history to it, and yeah, I think it's just a pleasant town in general to go and see. And from the gardens, if you look out into the distance, you can see the skyscrapers are in the distance in Nuevos Ministerios in the north of Madrid city.